First is going to go up is the folks representing Pew, Angelo and Jay, and good luck. And if you need anything, let us know.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right. Don't start counting yet. Just give me a couple seconds to pull up my laptop.
Start. Are you going to reserve any of your time for rebuttal?
I'm not a lawyer. I don't do that kind of stuff. Thanks, though. Before I get started, I just want to thank Jim and Kyle for giving us this opportunity to speak with you. Hey, there we go. Everybody see the screen? All right, just like I said, we did win the arm wrestling contest, but we conceded to the other side, but I didn't realize that would be controversial, so we'll go ahead and go first. Again, I just want to say thanks to Jim and for Kyle for setting us up. It's a great opportunity to present to all of you. Seeing a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people have already seen this presentation. I've tweaked it a little bit. There's been some news that has come out in the last week or so, and there is a memo from the president on most of your tables. If you don't have one, there's one in the back. And sort of the latest development is that the president has indeed gone ahead and announced that they're going to do an assessment of a marine monument. So this process is just beginning. And I'm here to talk about a potential monument in the Northern Islands. A working name that we've been calling it is Mariana Trench Marine National Monument. That would not be set in stone, but I think it's a good one. I came up with it. At the end of this, 14.5-minute presentation now? I just want you to answer one question to yourself. Is this going to be good for the CNMI? Don't worry about who the messenger is. And just focus on, do you think this is something that might be good for business? Is this something that might be good for the environment? Is this something that might be good for people? So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. There's a handful of people in this room who don't know me. I'm Angelo Villagomez. I was born here, but I spent most of my life living in the US. I've been doing environmental stuff for about the last decade. First half, I was getting my education. I have 2 degrees, one in environmental policy and one in biology, and I've been a community organizer for about 5 years. And if you've heard of Beautify CNMI, you probably know some of the stuff that I've done here. I'm gonna go through this. This is a 25-minute presentation, and I've got about 13 minutes left, so I apologize if I move kind of quick. Just a short overview. I actually have a quite lengthy introduction to sort of touch on some topics that I think are important for understanding what a monument is. Then I'm going to talk about the actual concept, where we are now. I've got a couple slides on the economic impact, which is probably what you're interested in, and then just closing. And we're not doing questions and answers, so we're going to save some time there. So real quick, a lot of questions are being asked about this whole monument thing. You know, who is Pew? Why are they in the CNMI? What is a monument? Is it going to be a statue that they're going to put on your office? What is this concept? Where did it get started? How did it come to the CNMI? Where are we? And what kind of happens next? And in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to answer all those questions. So Pew is a family name, like Villagomez. It's a large, rich family in the United States, and like other large, rich families, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, they give money for humanitarian reasons. They have an environment program, and I work for them currently, Pew Environment Group. You can check out their website. pewtrust.org. They work in 3 areas: forest conservation, ocean conservation, and then global warming issues. So the question is, why is Pew interested? Well, we're not a federal agency trying to take your water. We're an environmental nonprofit interested in conservation. And since we're not a government agency, we really have no role in the management of any potential monument. We don't have any decision-making authority. We can't make any rules. We can't tell anybody what to do. Just like the Red Cross or locally here, MENA, we can make suggestions, and we can work with the federal government, and we can work with the local government. And if somebody wants to know what the economic impacts would be, We can commission a report from the University of Guam. You'll find that on your table. There's more in the back. We can also commission a scientific study and set up meetings between important people within the CNMI government and the federal government. So we're just sort of an intermediate. We're not a government. We're an environmental nonprofit. What is a monument? If it was a national park, pretty much everyone on Saipan knows what a national park is because of American Memorial Park. A monument is different. There's about 20 different names for a protected area: national wildlife refuges, national parks, state parks, sanctuaries, coral reef ecosystem reserves. A monument is a type of protected area, and it's not necessarily natural. It's to protect something of cultural or scientific value. So, for example, Four Corners in Utah, or the Statue of Liberty, or Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument in Hawaii. If I had 60 seconds to give this presentation, this is the slide I would show you. The concept is pretty simple. Take a large swath of ocean, covering an entire ecosystem, and protect it. Now, potential protections could limit commercial extraction, but allowing for traditional cultural practices. And the area that Pew Environment Group has identified potentially could be the second largest, if not the largest one in the world. We're calling it the Mariana Trench Marine National Monument because there are some very interesting geological features, volcanoes, mud volcanoes, more importantly, Mariana Trench, which is the deepest part of the world. The area we've identified contains about a third of the subduction zone of the trench. There's unique biological and cultural features. The islands are already protected in our constitution, so we're just extending those protections to the water. It's relatively untouched, and you probably know not a lot of people go up there, and there's not much economic activity, if any at all, that has gone on up there since World War II. I've got a couple slides just on the geology and the biology. I'm just going to blow through these. If you want more information, I've got the scientific studies on your table. But geologically, it's one of the most fascinating places in the world. It's part of the Ring of Fire. It's the meeting place of the Pacific plate sliding underneath the Philippine plate, and the result is volcanoes and Mariana Trench. And this geology drives the biology. It's a biodiversity hotspot. And a lot of the animals that live up there are living off of the chemicals that are spewing from the area. And I mentioned before, it protects an entire ecosystem. So when you come to my office and I give this presentation, I spent 7 or 8 minutes talking about some of this stuff, but I've only got limited time, so come to my office tonight at 6 and I'll talk to you about that. So where did this concept get started? Well, sort of 3 things happened at the same time that allowed for this to happen. Number 1 is people in the CNMI are used to conservation. It's enshrined in our Constitution. We have federally funded agencies here like CRM, DEQ, Fish and Wildlife. So the people are used to conservation. We have a president that is interested in ocean conservation, and I can talk to you about this at length, but President Bush is the first president to show an interest in ocean conservation. We don't know if there'll be another one in the next 50